For months, it seemed like the rumors had finally died down. The whispers of tension, the endless speculation from fans, the viral social media threads trying to decode every glance and every interaction between two of Hollywood's most talked-about young stars. But then suddenly, almost out of nowhere, one short video reignited everything. Within hours, the internet exploded. Fans began dissecting the footage frame by frame. TikTok creators rushed to analyze body language. Twitter threads started connecting old interviews, red carpet moments, and past rumors that many believed had already been put to rest. And once again, the question dominating entertainment headlines across America was simple, but incredibly loaded. Is there actually tension between Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney? Or is this just another example of how internet culture can turn a few seconds of video into a full-blown Hollywood controversy? Because here's the reality. Both actresses are central figures in one of the most influential television shows of the modern era, HBO's Euphoria, a series that has redefined youth drama, sparked cultural conversations, and turned its cast into global superstars almost overnight. Zendaya, an Emmy-winning actress and one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood today. Sydney Sweeney, a rapidly rising star whose performances and career trajectory have made her one of the most talked-about young actresses in the industry. Two successful women. Two powerful careers. One television show that brought them into the same spotlight. And now, once again, one viral moment that has fans wondering whether there's more happening behind the scenes than anyone publicly admits. Tonight, we're taking a deep investigative look at the rumor that refuses to disappear. What exactly was in that video? Why did it reignite feud speculation? And what does the actual evidence suggest about the relationship between these two stars? Because in the modern age of viral media, the truth often gets buried under millions of opinions. But when you slow down and examine the timeline, the interviews, and the public record carefully, a far more complicated story begins to emerge. Do you understand why a single video could ignite such an intense wave of speculation across social media? You first have to understand the cultural weight carried by the two women at the center of the conversation, Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney. Zendaya, whose full name is Zendaya Marie Stormer Coleman, has spent nearly her entire life in the public eye. She first rose to fame through Disney Channel projects, including Shake It Up, where she built a loyal young fanbase. But unlike many child stars who struggle to transition into more serious roles, Zendaya carefully and deliberately reshaped her career over time. Her breakthrough moment came with HBO's Euphoria, where she portrays Rue Bennett, a teenager struggling with addiction and emotional trauma. The role earned Zendaya widespread critical acclaim and eventually 2 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series. That achievement made her the youngest 2-time winner in the category's history. But beyond awards and accolades, Zendaya also built something arguably even more powerful in modern entertainment, a reputation for professionalism, poise, and thoughtful public communication. Whether discussing mental health, the pressures of fame, or the importance of representation in Hollywood, Zendaya has consistently positioned herself as both an artist and a cultural voice. Meanwhile, Sydney Sweeney's rise followed a different, but equally fascinating path. Born in Spokane, Washington, Sweeney spent years slowly building her resume through supporting roles in television and film. She appeared in critically respected projects like The Handmaid's Tale and Sharp Objects, gaining industry recognition for her ability to portray emotionally complex characters. But it was her role as Cassie Howard in Euphoria that truly propelled her into global fame. Cassie's storyline, filled with vulnerability, heartbreak, and controversial choices, became one of the most discussed narrative arcs in the series. Sweeney's performance drew praise from critics who noted her emotional intensity and willingness to portray deeply flawed characters. Suddenly, she was everywhere. Major magazine covers, Hollywood casting lists, and eventually leading roles in films like Anyone But You and Madame Web. Both actresses, though very different in their public personas, became defining figures of their generation's entertainment landscape, which is why fans have always been deeply interested in how they interact. And for the most part, there has never been concrete evidence of a genuine conflict between them. In interviews promoting Euphoria, both actresses have generally spoken positively about their experiences on the show. Zendaya has repeatedly praised the cast's collaborative atmosphere. Sweeney has expressed gratitude for the opportunities the show provided. But despite that public harmony, rumors have surfaced periodically over the years. Sometimes those rumors stemmed from nothing more than fan interpretations of red carpet interactions. Other times they were fueled by gossip blogs looking for conflict narratives between rising stars. In Hollywood history, this phenomenon is hardly new. The entertainment industry has a long tradition of media outlets and audiences speculating about supposed rivalries between successful women. From classic Hollywood legends to modern pop stars, narratives of competition often gain traction even when the people involved insist there is none. But in the social media era, these stories can grow exponentially faster. A single clip, a facial expression, a moment captured without context, and suddenly, millions of viewers are constructing theories. Which brings us to the video that recently brought the Zendaya-Sweeney feud rumors back into the spotlight. Because according to online discussions, this particular clip seemed, at least to some viewers, to reveal something that fans hadn't noticed before. Or perhaps something they simply wanted to believe was there all along. Now let's talk about the moment that reignited the speculation. Because in the modern media ecosystem, rumors rarely begin with official statements or confirmed reports. Instead, they often start with something much smaller, something that seems insignificant at first glance. In this case, it was a short video clip. The footage began circulating across TikTok and X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, where entertainment fans often analyze celebrity interactions in microscopic detail. The clip reportedly captured a brief moment involving the cast of Euphoria during a public appearance connected to the show's promotion or related events. Within hours, millions of viewers were sharing the footage, pausing it, zooming in, and debating what they believed they were seeing. Some viewers claimed that Zendaya appeared distant or uninterested during a moment when Sweeney was speaking or interacting with the group. Others argued that the two actresses avoided direct eye contact, interpreting that detail as a sign of underlying tension. However, it's important to emphasize something critical here. There is no verified evidence that the moment actually reflects any personal conflict. In fact, entertainment journalists who reviewed the footage have largely noted that the clip shows only a brief and contextless interaction. In crowded red carpet or panel environments, cast members often shift their attention between photographers, reporters, producers, and fellow actors. A few seconds of body language captured from one angle can easily be misinterpreted. But on social media, nuance rarely slows down the momentum of a viral story. Within hours of the clip spreading, fan theories began connecting the moment to older rumors that had circulated during previous seasons of Euphoria. Some online users began resurfacing interviews, attempting to identify subtle moments where they believed tension existed between the actresses. Others posted side-by-side video comparisons from past red carpet events, suggesting that their interactions seemed more distant than fans expected from co-stars on a successful show. Once that kind of narrative begins building online, it can quickly evolve into something far larger than the original moment that sparked it. Entertainment commentators started posting analysis videos. Podcast hosts debated the topic. And suddenly, the phrase Zendaya and Sweeney feud was once again trending across multiple platforms. But here's where things become especially important from a journalistic perspective. Despite the online speculation, there has been no confirmed report from credible entertainment outlets that either actress has acknowledged any kind of conflict. Neither Zendaya nor Sweeney has publicly commented on the viral video or the rumors that followed. And historically, both have been extremely careful in how they discuss their colleagues and collaborators. That silence, however, has not stopped the conversation from growing. Because when millions of viewers are examining the same few seconds of footage, the story can take on a life of its own. To truly understand how quickly this narrative developed, we need to examine the timeline of events that unfolded once the clip appeared online. According to tracking data from social media platforms, the first widely shared version of the video began circulating late in the evening, posted by a user who claimed the clip showed awkward tension between members of the Euphoria cast. Initially, the video received modest engagement, just a few thousand views and a handful of comments. But within a matter of hours, the algorithm-driven nature of platforms like TikTok began amplifying the clip to larger audiences. Users began reposting the footage with captions like, "Did anyone else notice this? Something feels off here. Are Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney not getting along?" As more viewers encountered the clip, interpretations multiplied. Some insisted the moment clearly showed distance between the actresses. Others pushed back strongly, arguing that the speculation was completely overblown. Entertainment-focused accounts with large followings soon joined the conversation, sharing the clip with their own commentary. Once those larger pages became involved, the view count skyrocketed. Within a day, the video had accumulated millions of views across multiple platforms. At that point, traditional entertainment media outlets began addressing the rumor, not because they had confirmed new information, but because the viral discussion itself had become newsworthy. Articles began appearing with headlines asking variations of the same question. Did this video reveal tension between Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney? Most of those reports took a cautious tone, noting that the footage alone does not provide evidence of a real dispute. Still, the renewed speculation demonstrated how quickly online narratives can form around even the smallest moments. This is not the first time that rumors of tension between the two actresses have circulated online. During the height of Euphoria's popularity following its second season, fan discussions occasionally speculated about potential competition between cast members. The show's intense storylines, combined with the breakout success of several actors, created an environment where audiences often compared performances and screen time. Sydney Sweeney's character Cassie became one of the most discussed figures in the series due to her dramatic storyline. Meanwhile, Zendaya remained the central protagonist of the show, with Rue's journey forming the emotional backbone of the narrative. In Hollywood, when multiple actors from the same project experience rapid career growth, speculation about rivalry sometimes emerges, even when there is no direct evidence to support it. Entertainment historians often point out that this pattern has existed for decades. Fans frequently project competition onto performers who are actually collaborators. In reality, most actors working on ensemble productions spend long hours together on set, building professional relationships that are far more complex than internet narratives suggest. But once a rumor begins circulating, even neutral interactions can be interpreted through that lens. A brief glance can become awkward tension. A quiet moment can become distance. And suddenly, an entire storyline begins forming around fragments of observation. When the video began trending, several entertainment journalists quickly pointed out that both actresses have historically maintained professional relationships with their co-stars. Zendaya, in particular, has often spoken about the collaborative environment on Euphoria and the emotional intensity required from the cast. Meanwhile, Sydney Sweeney has repeatedly emphasized the importance of the show in launching her career to a global audience. In past interviews, Sweeney has discussed the challenges of portraying Cassie's deeply emotional arc, noting that the role required a high level of trust between cast members and the creative team. That context matters. Because shows like Euphoria demand intense performances and long filming schedules, actors often rely on strong working relationships to navigate the emotional weight of their roles. While disagreements or creative differences can happen on any production, there is currently no confirmed evidence suggesting a personal feud between Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney. Still, the viral moment highlights something much bigger about the modern entertainment landscape. In the age of constant connectivity, celebrities are rarely judged only by their work. Instead, every public appearance, every facial expression, and every moment caught on camera can become a piece of a larger narrative created by the audience itself. Sometimes those narratives fade quickly, but sometimes they return again and again, each time sparked by a new viral moment. And that brings us to the next critical piece of this story. Because the reaction from social media has been anything but quiet, In fact, the internet's response to this video has revealed just how divided fans can become when interpreting the same few seconds of footage. By the time the video had circulated for 24 hours, something remarkable had happened. What began as a brief clip shared by a single account had transformed into a full-scale online conversation stretching across nearly every major social platform in the United States. On TikTok, creators began uploading reaction videos that racked up hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions, of views within hours. Many of these videos slowed the clip down to half speed, zoomed in on facial expressions, and circled particular moments on the screen as if they were analyzing footage from a courtroom case. Some creators argued that the clip showed subtle tension between the actresses. Others strongly disagreed, saying viewers were projecting meaning into a completely ordinary moment. The debate itself became the content. Comment sections filled with thousands of responses. Some users insisted that the clip revealed something fans had suspected for years. Others pushed back against what they saw as an example of internet culture turning ordinary interactions into unnecessary controversy. Meanwhile, on X, formerly known as Twitter, the conversation moved at lightning speed. Threads began appearing that attempted to connect the viral moment with past interviews, past press tours, and even red carpet photographs from years earlier. Some users posted screenshots from previous events, claiming that the two actresses rarely appeared to interact publicly. Others quickly pointed out that large ensemble casts often divide their attention among dozens of reporters and photographers during crowded events. The truth, as usual, was far more complicated than either side of the argument wanted to admit. But complexity rarely slows down the momentum of a viral narrative. As the clip continued spreading, hashtags connected to both actresses began trending in entertainment categories across the United States. At one point, searches related to Zendaya and Sweeney feud saw a dramatic spike in online interest. For media analysts, this pattern is becoming increasingly familiar. In the digital era, a viral clip doesn't just spark conversation, it becomes the foundation for thousands of additional pieces of content. Reaction videos, commentary posts, podcast discussions, and think piece articles all begin forming around the same small moment. And each new layer adds to the perception that something major has happened, even when the original clip contains very little actual information. That's exactly what appeared to be happening here. The conversation wasn't really about what was visible in the video anymore. It was about what people believed the video represented. As the debate intensified, fans of both actresses began forming two very distinct camps. One group argued that the clip revealed subtle but unmistakable tension. According to this interpretation, the actress's body language appeared distant or disengaged compared to how close cast members from other shows often appear during press events. These fans pointed to the idea that Hollywood productions, especially high-profile ones like Euphoria, can sometimes generate behind-the-scenes friction due to intense schedules, creative disagreements, or media pressure. However, another large group of viewers rejected the feud narrative entirely. They argued that the speculation reflected a broader pattern in entertainment media, the tendency to frame successful women as rivals even when there is no concrete evidence of conflict. Some social media users pointed out that male co-stars rarely face the same level of scrutiny over brief interactions during press events. Others argued that the viral video demonstrated how easily public perception can be shaped by selective clips removed from their original context. One TikTok creator summarized the frustration felt by many viewers in a video that quickly gained traction. They argued that fans often treat celebrities like characters in a drama, rather than real people working within a professional environment. In other words, the story itself had become the entertainment. And that phenomenon speaks to something deeper about the modern relationship between audiences and public figures. Because today's celebrities exist in an environment where every moment can be captured, clipped, and redistributed across the internet within seconds. Even something as simple as a glance away from a camera can spark hours of speculation. As the discussion continued growing online, several media analysts and entertainment journalists began weighing in, not to confirm the feud rumors, but to examine why stories like this spread so quickly in the first place. According to many experts who study celebrity culture and digital media, the viral response to the video reflects a broader shift in how audiences consume entertainment news. In previous decades, information about Hollywood relationships was largely controlled by traditional media outlets. Magazines, television interviews, and official press statements shaped the public narrative. But today, the internet allows fans to become investigators themselves. Viewers no longer wait for reporters to interpret events. Instead, they analyze footage, create theories, and